that longtime players will appreciate, but one that will be easy for new players to pick up and play. In addition to being canon, it's an experience that immerses and innovates on the core Treyarch Zombies gameplay. This is Der Anfang.
That one didn't age quite so well.
COD Zombies has been a staple in COD, like, ever since it came out in 2008. It has been perfected and copied many different times. Some, meh, and some, bad. But of course, those who have reigned king when it came to making zombies has always been Treyarch. Of course, they have had some failures, but as well have had some of the greatest zombies map to this current date. But the state that Zombies in is an absolute disappointment and really should be concerning for the future of zombies as a whole. It's no secret what is creating this problem, this downfall of zombies, as of course, is the publisher. Activision is well known for treating their employees like human cattle and has caused so many horrible mistakes and terrible decisions when it comes to making zombies, as well as the entirety of COD itself. I don't want this video to be like the downfall of like COD Zombies, but I want this to be like something that Treyarch can watch and say like, hey, we should go in this right direction to making good decisions and reclaiming our crown as Zombies kings. Of course, they don't have like Jason Blundell. He left during Black Ops 4, but I still believe that they have the opportunity in making still some of the greatest Zombies experiences. If you are new to Zombies as a whole, I feel like I should tell you how it kind of got like started and what decisions were made that kind of affected like where it is today, just so you can be up to speed on the problems that not only I have, but other people have with the way that Zombies is right now. It was initially released as a bonus game mode for World at War after you beat the campaign. And when people found out about this, it was received incredibly well. And because of this, it would receive 3 more additional maps with the DLCs as they released with the season of COD. The same thing can be said about Black Ops 1. The Zombies was praised incredibly and as well got more maps with the DLC, as well as receiving their own DLC called Resurrection, where they brought the past maps of World at War into this new and current COD. Black Ops 2 wasn't received well. It launched with one map with 3 smaller maps inside of that map. This map itself was called Transit, but would have Bus Depot, Farm, and Town as the 3 smaller maps inside of that you could play in. This map, while being a cool idea as you could run around this giant, vast map, was severely limited by the amount of technical limitations of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 consoles. So the entire map was shrouded in fog, and denizens would jump out at you and scratch your eyeballs anytime you ran out in this fog without using the bus, as anyone could completely outrun the bus if these elements were completely removed. But later in the year, it would garner some more reputation with the release of both Mob of the Dead and Origins, which are considered to be some of the best maps ever made. Black Ops 3 was kind of in the same boat as Black Ops 2, but for a different reason, as the map launched with 2 maps, the giant in Shadows of Evil, with Shadows of Evil being the on-disc map, so anyone could play it if they just own the game, but it got a lot of criticism for being too repetitive and complex, as in order to get the Pack-a-Punch, you needed to go to different altars and then do these rituals to unlock Pack-a-Punch. A lot of people thought it was a bit too hard for casual players, so people would rather like the style of the Giant, as it was just a Der-Riese remaster. But the problem was, it was locked by a $50 paywall from the season pass. But it did get a lot better, as the maps that were released with each DLC were incredibly well, with Der Riesendruck, personally for me, being the best zombies map of all time, as well as Gorod Krovi being up there as one of the best maps. And especially, and I mean this especially, it would garner so much more support after Zombies Chronicles, being one of the most top-selling DLCs for COD at all. It would bring in both Black Ops 1's maps, World at War's maps, and Origins from Black Ops 2, all into Black Ops 3. And for a lot of people, including myself, this is easily considered one of the best zombies experiences you can have. And finally, there is Black Ops 4. And this game was received badly by the community, because so many changes were made in this game that did not need to be made. As well, half of the maps were reimagines, but more or less they were just the same map with a few new areas, so they all relatively played the same. And those were all tailored to the Ether storyline, which is the storyline that we all know and love, with the other half of the maps being completely original and looking stylistically good, all tailored to the Chaos storyline, which was kind of just attached for reasons I don't actually know. And the story wasn't received that well either. Even though 2 of those maps were received well, it just did not go over well. There's plenty of things that could be talked about that made it bad, but other people have already done that, so I'll leave you to go and find those for yourselves, rather than me explaining everything and making this video longer than it needs to be. Just to clarify, this video isn't just being made because of how absolutely bad Vanguard is. It is bad. Don't get me. It is bad. It is very bad. But since Black Ops 4, Treyarch has been an absolute punching bag for Activision, being used as literal tools is the best way to put it. As previously stated, Black Ops 4 was received poorly, and so many decisions that were made did not need to be made. And at the same time, Activision forced them to make a battle royale, cutting the campaign and causing more staff to work on Blackout, as it was called, rather than the multiplayer or zombies, causing these changes of a storyline no one really cared about, and half of the map being reimagines rather than original maps, causing them to know more people would rather see a Blood of the Dead or Mob of the Dead remaster, which we've all been asking for, knowing that that will make sales. Again, if you want to go watch a video about breaking down what the problems are with Black Ops 4, go do so. As of right now, I need to talk about Black Ops Cold War, as many of the problems I see right now with zombies are inside this game. And none of it is about the gameplay. It is about how this game was managed and really what they did in terms of the maps. First problem with this game was that it shouldn't have existed. This game was originally supposed to be from Sledgehammer and Raven, still being a Cold War style game, but neither of them could come on a consensus about what the game was going to be, causing Activision to come down from their shit-stained tower and hand the responsibility of a new COD game to Treyarch. Now, only giving them 2 years rather than the 3 years they were used to, causing this game's launch to be horrible. And I really do mean bad. This game was filled with bugs and glitches like it was no one's business.
No, don't pull! No! Ah!
This game could even possibly brick your new console. Your Xbox Series X could just shut off and it could possibly just not even turn back on. Graphics in this one on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were complete downgrades from Modern Warfare 2019. It was ugly. It really made a lot of people think, what is the point of buying this game when it's a completely broken mess, when Modern Warfare has more content and is actually functional? But while the release of Cold War was horrible, Zombies was actually fun, and it offered actual new changes that made the Zombies experience feel fresh while still having that classic feeling of Zombies. One of these biggest changes was, instead of starting with a 1911, you could start off with a shotgun or an assault rifle, meaning you could pick really whatever gun you felt like you wanted to run with. In Black Ops 4, there had special abilities, and these really broke the game. They made you actually invincible from the get-go. And Cold War still has these special abilities, but instead of making them weapons like they were in Black Ops 4, they were just more like buffs to your character. So they didn't actually make you invincible, but there are still ones that are better than others. As you play the game, you would unlock ether crystals to upgrade these abilities, as well as perks and weapon types that you could get while playing the game. And perks were also completely changed. While not being the horrible perk system from Black Ops 4, you could now just buy every perk on the map, with the first perk you buy being 2,500, and each time it increases by 500 points for each perk you buy. While it may sound like a lot of money is needed to buy these perks, it is very easy to actually get money with multiple types of boss zombies on each maps, and points being distributed completely different than old games. By, instead of shooting them and getting a point for it, you get points by killing them, with each zombie having a set amount of points, and boss zombies also, making every weapon feel viable, and you don't need to have a kill weapon like a thunder gun and a point weapon like an SMG. Armor and rarities were also brought into this game, giving a more of a how to get more damage out of your weapons and also have more survivability when fighting zombies, with armor being a complete replacement for shields that were introduced in Black Ops 2 and were made completely horrible in Black Ops 4. Guns now had rarities with red, green, blue, purple, and yellow, with another type of yellow being only used for wonder weapons. Armor also has its own rarities, but it would only go up to purple, as there was only 3 tiers of upgrades you could get, with the first rarity getting you the armor itself. Personally, I think this was a solid Zombies experience. It had a lot of things that kept the game feeling classic, while also having changes that kept it feeling unique in its own way. But while this game had so many ups, as the game kept progressing throughout the year, a lot of problems would unfold, showing the flaws with the game itself. This game launched with one map, being Der Maschine, being a remake of Nocturne Toten. Not really something you want to see after Black Ops 4, but I'm willing to give it a pass, as I will literally take anything after Black Ops 4. 3 months later, in February, we would get Firebase Z, where they would take assets from the campaign from the Fractured Jaw mission to make this map. Again, I'm willing to give it a pass, as they did this in Black Ops 1 with 5 and Ascension. And a little later in the month, we would also get a new mode called Outbreak. This would be a semi-open world where they would complete objectives and then go to new levels. But when this map launched, again, it would reuse assets from multiplayer by taking the map from their underperforming game mode called Fireteam Dirty Bomb. And there were only 3 maps and a handful of objectives. So it got really repetitive, really fast. But I guess an up here was that you could play this to actually level up your character and weapons pretty fast. The next map we got was Mauer der Toten. And you want to know something about this map? We got it on July 15th, 5 months after Firebase C. Now, I'm not quite too sure, but I think there was an Easter egg that was released for Outbreak. But during this period, this should not have been their goal. This should not have been their priority. It should have been about the main Zombies experience. And again, they would reuse assets from the campaign from the Brick in the Wall mission. This is the 3rd time they have reused assets from other parts of the game, and to me, it was at least getting annoying, as I don't understand how they can't make one original map without reusing assets from another part of the game. The last map we would get would be Forsaken in October, an actual reasonable amount of time. And who would have guessed it? Again! They would reuse assets from the fucking campaign. Who would have guessed? I sure as shit wouldn't have. They would take these assets from the mission Red Light, Green Light. Never in any CODs game, besides World at War, which gets a pass because it was the first game with zombies, have they reused maps from the campaign or multiplayer for every map of zombies. It is disappointing, as we got no unique or different. They weren't unique at all. Every map in this game was either a ruined facility or a city. There was one city, that was Mauer der Toten. But everything else was a ruined facility, and that was it. Every facility in Cold War was just about opening a portal to the Dark Ether. Not even in World at War did they have only facilities about researching Element 115. The first 2 maps were an abandoned psych ward and an airfield. The last 2 maps were research facilities about Element 115. And in Black Ops 3, again, not every research facility was about Element 115. They had other goals. Setsubo no Shima, where they were learning about the spiders and the dragon eggs. Moon was a space facility, learning about the MPD. There was many other things they could have done than just having facilities to open portals to the Dark Ether. They did have a city level, but again, that had a facility to open a portal to the Dark Ether underneath it. They could have had an attack on Requiem HQ, an entire map in the Dark Ether. Anything like that would have been cool, and would have to be an original map without reusing assets from the base game. I'm not going to talk about Outbreak, as they are just multiplayer levels put into zombies, and the story is something I could not get into. Don't get me wrong, I do like Weaver, and I do like Samantha. And all of them are cool characters, but I can't get invested into them. The reason I could get into zombies was because I had characters that I could get attached to.
If I run out of ammo, I'm kicking your ass, player. Notice I didn't say shooting, 'cause I need fucking ammo for that.
Let me see if I got this right. Valentina is the daughter of Ulrich Vogel, head scientist of Project Endstation. I always knew there was something wrong with her.
Is that why you have said nothing over the last year? Fucking fool.
when Richtofen dies in Blood of the Dead, that really made me sad, knowing that this character that I have known since 2013 is dead, and his friends will forget about him after they go through the portals and do anything else, as everything that Richtofen has now worked up to that point is for nothing. It has been completely for nothing. If I were to see Weaver die just in the zombies alone, I really wouldn't feel bad. As if I hadn't played Black Ops 1 and I only played zombies, Cold War zombies that is, I really couldn't feel anything, knowing that he was just a character that I may have seen in a cutscene or in a little box on the side of my screen. But since I have played Black Ops 1, I really would have been sad, but not for Cold War Weaver, but for Black Ops 1 Weaver. I don't know if this is just a problem with me. If you enjoy the story, perfectly fine, you can enjoy the story, but it just never interested me. I couldn't find myself interested in it, as all the story was revolving around stopping Omega Group and stopping the Dark Ether forces. Now, I know it really made the game sound bad after literally everything I kind of said, but I do want to reiterate, I do like the gameplay. I think it's fun, but even I can see the horrible problems with this game. Outbreak is a fun side mode, and I know I didn't talk about Onslaught. It's because I haven't played it, so I don't feel like I should talk about something that I haven't played. I have heard good things about it, but again, it still takes content for multiplayer, and again, Outbreak is a good side mode, but I don't think it's a good main mode, and I will talk about that when I talk about Vanguard. The zombies isn't bad. I want to say that. It's fun. Like, if you want to get a new COD today, get this game. It's fun. And the zombies is a good experience. The campaign is also good. I didn't play multiplayer because I have been completely burned out on multiplayer for COD for the longest time. And really, it just makes me sad as anything Activision touches just burns to ash. And I really just shows the flaws of just working with them in general. I know this whole time I have been talking about zombies, I haven't mentioned any of the other companies' takes on zombies, as I just wanted to focus on Treyarch zombies, as they are my favorite studio and the only ones that have had a continuous story with each installment of their games. But Vanguard is like the only exception, as this is the only time Treyarch has actually helped out in other studios with their zombies. And, whew, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Never in COD zombies community has there been an agreement about a bad zombies game. Some people like Black Ops 4, and that's their opinion. That's completely fine. Same with Vanguard. If you like Vanguard, that's perfectly fine. Whatever you like, you know? But, Jesus Christ, there has never been so much hate towards one zombies game by the community. And it's all for good reason. Everything that made zombies is taken out of this game. Pack-a-punch camo, missing. Easter egg, gone. Original map, don't need them. Pause button in a solo and private lobby. Redundant. Being kicked from solo games. That one is needed. You never know. You go up to take a piss, you're out of the game. We're trying to save you, bud. No wonder weapon. No ray gun. And for the first time ever, no survival map. That's right, folks. This is the first zombies to ever have no survival map on launch. So you may be asking, what did they do? Well, they took a page out of Outbreak. You go into portals and you do objectives on different maps from the multiplayer. On launch, there are 3 objectives and 6 maps. If they wanted this to work, and I do believe that this could work, they need more objectives and more maps. As 3 maps is way too repetitive, as well as having 6 objectives. It is the same problem with Outbreak. It had little to no modes. I don't really remember how many, but it was very few, and it had 3 maps. And while it was fun for a bit, most people, including myself, would rather play normal survival maps, as the time it takes to complete like 1 stage of Outbreak versus like around like 10 waves of zombies was way too long. Personally, for me, I would rather have a constant objective rather than switching off of to other objectives over and over again. But that just could be what I like more. I don't know why they did this. First off, I don't know game design. I don't know how that shit works. But I feel like it would take more time to get all of this shit working rather than do what Cold War did and have one map on release that just reuses campaign assets or whatever and then build off of that. Listen, I don't know what else to say about this, but I'm sad. There's so many problems with this game, all because Sledgehammer either can't make their own 3rd mode because they either lack the manpower or they are incompetent. This was like the only thing I was hoping to be good. I love COD, and I want there to be another good COD game. But hearing Treyarch work on this really, like, lightened the spirits. It made me think, hey, maybe this will be, if this game isn't good, maybe the zombies will at least be good. But when I heard of all the horrible problems, I knew this game would just not receive any of my money. I know what I said earlier about Onslaught, that I wouldn't review it because I haven't played it. But the problem's here, I don't need to play to see for myself. As making a game mode like Outbreak could work, but the way they said it, and this was before launch, wasn't going to work, and it's not going to be good in the long run. As the kinds of game modes that they had would just get repetitive and boring. They said there is going to be Survival Map coming soon, and it would just be the remastered of Shi No Numa that was shown in the game. So, yeah, that's right. We got it in like 2009. We got it again in 2011. We got it again in 2017. And now we're getting it for a 4th time in 2022. What the fuck? Let's get something new. Come on, man. While this game does like need a survival map, it's sad because it's just another remaster of Shi No Numa. So it really has been 3 years since we have gotten a original map without using assets from either the campaign or multiplayer. And to be honest, from where I'm seeing it, the future of Vanguard seems bleak and horrible. And I feel bad that Treyarch has to even put their name on this train wreck. During the month of January, we saw something completely surprising when Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. This actually gave me the slightest amount of hope. I don't know. It's probably too soon to actually say of what's going to happen, but I really am looking and hoping forward to the future of COD. As there's even rumors that once Treyarch's game comes out in 2023, that they will drop the annual cycle and give developers an extra 1 to 2 year break after the release of their game, meaning they could launch a game in 2023 and the next COD game could come out in 2025 or 2026. I'm really holding out hope for Treyarch's next game. I really am. But until Bobby Kotick is gone from Activision, they will be consistently used like his actual fuck toy. What's up, fellas? Update in the present. A few things have actually changed. Vanguard now actually has some things that were missing from the actual zombies. First things, Pack-a-Punch camo exists, and there is now an Easter egg with ray gun, and I think you can pause the game now. Not too sure on the last one. Sucks is, though, that I'm pretty sure the Easter egg is bad. I think it can be beaten pretty fast. They actually have added, I think, new maps, new modes, but I couldn't really care. Still don't think there's a survival mode, which sucks. I have also heard that Treyarch's 2023 release actually will get delayed, which is surprising to say the least, but kind of hopeful. But it is completely up in the air at this point. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? My name is Deez, and my wife has left me.